What's up and welcome back to the Metalhead Car Show. It's finally happened. We've entered the Future Past Tour. So today I want to look at the setlist, the stage, and how close were my predictions I've made throughout the past couple months. Let's get right into it. So if you weren't there, we did our first stream ever on the Metalhead Car Show YouTube channel, and there's about 160, 170 people there the whole show talking about the setlist, saying their opinions, and saying songs we were hoping was going to come up. And it was a blast. Thank you all for showing up. But enough of that. The set list. The show opened up with the Blade Runner theme, which the moment that happened, we all knew exactly what was coming up, and that was Caught Somewhere in Time. Now, we all predicted Caught Somewhere in Time. That wasn't too much of a shock, but it was exciting nonetheless, and the crowd seemed to lose their mind. But after that, they went right into Stranger in a Strangeland, where they actually had a Stranger in a Strangeland Eddie come out, which really fit the setting, being the Summer in Time city in the backdrop, and actually the Summer in Time city and towers being kind of the stage decor all around. And the whole thing looked absolutely awesome for the first couple songs. A lot of color, a lot of light. And for the first time ever, Maiden actually used screens on their stage, supposed to just exclusively a backdrop, or a banner in the backdrop. After that, we got a triple shot of Senjutsu, being The Writing on the Wall, Days of Future Past, and The Time Machine. The Writing on the Wall was both a smart and obvious pick. It was one that fans were really getting into. It was kind of teased in the original commercial. And along with that, it's the only Senjutsu song carried over from the Legacy of the Beast tour from last year. So kind of neat. Days of Future Past was obvious. It was the name of the tour. There's no way they weren't going to play it. And the Time Machine really fit in with the idea of time travel and this kind of spacey vibe from Somewhere in Time. But after the Time Machine, we got the biggest surprise the entire night, and that was The Prisoner. Now, I predicted at first that Number of the Beast was not going to be a huge priority on this tour, so they're likely only going to play one song. I predicted it was be Number of the Beast because that seemed like the obvious choice. I later said that Total Eclipse is probably something that could happen. I was wrong about that. But nonetheless, I was right in saying it wasn't a priority, and we got The Prisoner, which was a nice treat. Now, after The Prisoner, we got right back into Senjutsu and played the fourth Senjutsu song of the night, being Death of the Celts. Now in the chat, there's a lot of people debating this one, whether it's going to be Death of the Celts or The Parchment. I did say they both could have worked. Now, in my original setlist video, I said it'd be The Parchment. I later kind of changed that on my own personal Spotify to Death of the Celts. I like myself a half point. I think it was kind of the better choice live. I like The Parchment more, but I think Death of the Celts was a great choice for a live show. It also has a really cool Klansman 2.0 thing going on with it. After the Klansman, they went right into a shorter, fun, upbeat song, and that was Can I Play With Madness? And it was the only song in this set where I had to ask why. Don't get me wrong, Can I Play With Madness is a great song, it's a lot of fun, but it gives me this feeling of there was a better song for that section, and that would have been Futureal like I predicted earlier. Short, upbeat, fun. Now, why did they go with Can I Play With Madness? Maybe they were just feeling it. Is what it is. I would have preferred Futureal or Total Eclipse like I think a lot of people would have, but I'm not going to complain, it's a lot of fun live. After Can I Play With Madness, we go right back into Summer in Time with Heaven Can Wait. That's the first time Heaven Can Wait's been played since the Summer Back in Time tour back in 2008, 2009, and they did a little bit differently this time. Supposed to having the whole crew and all the fans come onto the stage to do the chant. They didn't do that this time. Instead, they had Bruce Dickinson firing a gun at Eddie and Eddie firing the gun back at Bruce whilst the crowd did the chant for them. Cool change, fun change. I've got absolutely nothing against it. I do think this is probably due to some ongoing pandemic restrictions or pandemic concerns. If one of them happened to get sick whilst fans or whoever was on stage, that probably would have kind of knocked out the tour for a couple shows. So I think that's probably why they did this. If not, I don't know. Either way, fun way to make up for not doing the chant with the fans. But then, we got the gem of the show. Now, we all knew this was coming. If you were paying attention, you saw the song get leaked out from some rehearsal sets. But nonetheless, it's super exciting, and I was flabbergasted in the chat when they did this, and that was finally playing Alexander the Great. Unbelievable. They finally did it. And they have this beautiful Alexander the Great artwork to go along with it, which I think is going to look great on a t-shirt very soon. And it seems like this was the song that they were going to pull out maybe once on whatever the retirement tour ends up being. But it's incredible it finally happened. And not that long ago, I was watching a video from Captain Harris, and she was saying that there's a chance they might not play it purely because back in 2012, they had Infinite Dreams lined up to play and then chose not to play, and I do remember that. So there's always this kind of feeling of Alexander the Great might not happen, we might not get it. But you know what? We got it, and I'm super excited to see this tour live next year. After Alexander the Great, they kind of started to wrap up the main set with Fear of the Dark and Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's going to be in every set here on out, no point looking into it. Fear of the Dark was the one that I understand why it's there. It's kind of like the Motorhead theory of making set lists of there's no way everyone going to a Motorhead set has seen Motorhead before, so they're going to play Ace of Spades every single time. So I think because of that, they're going to play Fear of the Dark every single time for those fans. And you know what? I get it. And Iron Maiden's next. It's a staple. But for the first time ever in Iron Maiden, they had two Eddies on stage. Well, technically two. Super cool. Nice to see the Senjutsu Eddie returning from last year. The one thing I would like, though, is to have a fight between the Senjutsu Eddie and the Somewhere in Time Eddie on stage. Maybe we'll get that at some point. I was hoping we got it last year with the Trooper Eddie and the Senjutsu Eddie, since they both had swords, but not this time. Starting off the encore, again, the chat knew exactly what song was coming. It made sense right from the start, and it's what I predicted, and that was Hell on Earth. This is also a very cool thing. Along with they nailed it, and it sounds awesome live. And of almost every single Iron Maiden tour, it's one of the few times they actually had a new song start the encore. Last time being 04 with Journeyman, and the time before that being 1991 with Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. So it's really cool they worked that one in there. Now, if this is in the stream where we start to figure out that, oh wait, they haven't played Number the Beast or the Trooper yet, I think we're only getting one of these. So we get kind of debated on what we're getting, and we got the Trooper. Which I think the Trooper right after Hell on Earth was a great move. Hell on Earth's awesome, but it's also a very long, kind of dark, heavy song. So picking it back up with the Trooper was a great move. And again, same reason for Fear of the Dark. It's going to be played for those fans, which I also predicted in my original setlist video. And closing the show, once again, predicted it, Wasted Years. It's not the first time they've closed with it. They were closed with it back in the Book of Souls tour, and I think it was the right spot for it and a brilliant way to end the show. So what do I think? I think this is a great set list. I think this looks like an awesome show, one of the best tours they've done in a long time. I was a big fan of the Legacy set, both the first and the second. I think this might top it though. And I'm happy they didn't do the two-world thing. I figured they might, but I'm really happy they didn't. I think this is the way to go, and this made for a really unique set list. This is also a really bold show, because they could have put the Evil Amendu and Number of the Beast and How They Name and cut down on some of the weirdo songs, but they didn't. They stuck to the theme they're doing, and as opposed to doing the easy route being Number of the Beast, Run to the Hills, whatever may have you, they scrapped those for Can I Play with Madness and The Prisoner, which is a really, really bold move, which hats off to Iron Maiden for doing it. So that's my thoughts. I think this tour looks awesome and I can't wait to see it next year. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this tour goes down when it gets to the Power Trip Festival this year. So I predicted 16 songs. I got 11 right out of the 15 they played, so not bad, I think. But I want to know, how did you do on your prediction set list versus what they actually played? And what's your thoughts on this tour? Are you going to go see it? Do you love it? Do you think it's kind of weak? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed what you've seen. I post on Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, and I'll see you later.